All right, I am here.
What's
All
going
right,
on?
I'm still employed, so that wasn't what the meeting was about.
Okay.
You're still employed.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 8 of 2026. I'm Chris Louie, and happy Chinese New Year to all who celebrate. During this time period, Earth will experience the largest human migration ever in history. With me, we do not have my co-host, the Cloud God, as he is taking a well-deserved day off.
Is it well-deserved? Is it really well-deserved?
He works
I
hard.
guess so. Yeah.
Is he working hard or hardly working?
Yeah, I know.
Most of the time.
Yeah. So Chinese translation for Happy New Year is I hope you get rich. Right?
Yeah. 恭喜发财 or 恭喜发财. Yeah. So you open with that, it says, I hope you get rich. And then you say, 新年快乐, which means Happy New Year. So it says, you open with, I hope you get rich. And then Happy New Year is the second thing you say.
Well, I hope both of you get rich and not Brian in this case. So, yeah.
Because he took the day off.
Yeah, since he took the day off. Son of a gun.
And we have Glenn Medina broadcasting straight out of Compton.
Yeah. Not Compton. Come on, man. I'm feeling under the weather today. It's
somewhere
not
out there.
Yeah, I'm somewhere out there. Yeah, I'm feeling under the weather. I got a little bit of a sniffle, and I don't know if it's all the rain that came into California, but it's just I'm not feeling well. So if I sound like I'm congested, I am. So thank you, but thanks for joining us.
All right. Well, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Our guest this week is Macho Man Scott Savage, back from traveling hockey. Stay safe out there, my friend.
Absolutely. Vegas is not my favorite place in the world, and I was stuck there all weekend.
I was expecting you to open with, "Oh yeah,
Snap into a Slim Jim. Baby.
That's it." All right.
That's the same thing I tell people when I tell people I travel to Vegas for work. Like, oh, you're lucky. I'm like, no, Vegas at my age is not like Vegas, what you remember it to be at your age.
Most definitely.
I joked when we landed, we were taxiing, and it's like they piped the Vegas smell into
the casino smell.
Yeah, the cigarettes covered with like that cleaning solution, right?
Yeah. Smells like
city.
Lost dreams and desperation.
Yeah. Misery and tears.
Combined, we have decades of information security experience here, not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got 4 awesome stories for you this week, so sit back, relax, and when will this rain stop? This week, we're going to talk about FBI, open up!
FBI, open up!
A pacemaker potentially saving a life twice. For our third topic, bad news for Glenn trying to illegally stream football, and close with our podcast going back to its roots. For our first topic, this is our, well, what did you expect would happen? Story of the week. Last week, a man in the Netherlands, where a good friend of the show Kush lives, well, he contacted the police trying to do the right thing, saying he had relevant information to share on an ongoing investigation. The police, eager to get this new evidence, sent him a link to upload the photos to some type of cloud storage service, but the policeman accidentally sent him a download link to the folder so he could see all the other photos in the case file.
God.
Doing what every normal person would do, obviously. He downloaded the files, and once the police department realized what happened, they asked him nicely not to download the files and to delete the files. So we're all good so far. Buckle up for what happens next.
What could go wrong?
Share them, Kush. The world
what
wants
could
to know.
possibly go wrong?
Our listeners want to see them. Oh my.
The Dutchman told the police, of course he would delete the files, but he wants something in return, hinting at some type of reward or payoff. It was at that point that the police arrested this Dutchman for a crime that they called computer trespassing and seized all of his electronic devices. At the time of this recording, he has not been charged with any crime, or at least has not been revealed, but the police got what they were after.
Wow, that is amazing.
That's pretty nuts.
I guess this is this is Europe, so they could do whatever they want. But in the U.S.,
Pretty much, yeah. They
I
lock
don't think
up
you
for
could do that
memes.
in the I don't think you could do that in the U.S. Definitely.
Yeah, I sent this story over
Ouch.
to a friend of the show, Ben Coral, I think he's pretty well versed in legal things. And his reaction pretty much the same as ours. It's like, all right, we were with you in the first half, and then you kind of lost us when you said, well, what do I get in return? Like at that point, I think that's when it becomes like extortion or something similar.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess it is extortion, but I guess they don't mess around over there. They came a knocking.
He kicked in his door.
The chances of him having relevant information to whatever crime occurred probably indicates that he's involved in some
He
manner,
might be.
right? In that type of world. Yeah.
Yeah.
So criminal's going to do criminal things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we say that we want Kush out of jail, or we want set Kush free?
Free Kush. I'll start a
Free
campaign.
Kush, because the Dutchman really equals Kush, right? In this. Oh, Kush.
Isn't that the Kush balls? Remember the Kush balls?
I remember
Yeah.
the Kush balls. Yeah, I think they're
Kush,
making a
you
comeback.
Great name.
You should have used a little bit of a smoke screen there and laid a honey pot for everybody to
Some
see.
deception.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was pretty funny that he's looking for some kind of payday. I'm like, yeah, maybe it might have worked. Maybe it didn't. Definitely did not work in his favor this time. Like, what did you think would happen? Like,
Don't try to strong arm the law.
yeah, it's like you think you would have gotten a pat in the back from the police and say, hey, thanks for your help. Here's a reward and do the right thing. Don't be an idiot.
What do they do? Take the evidence back as more evidence against a new case, which is the 40-year-old Dutchman, right? So who tried to extort the police. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
No, there's even more paperwork they have to do.
If you're going to blackmail, don't blackmail somebody in a position of power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's the law or a criminal who has weapons that will use against you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely picked the wrong group to extort here.
Dude, if you're out there and you're listening, share the files if you can.
Release the tapes.
Release the tapes.
Oh, shoot. Here we go. It's going to devolve into an Epstein conversation.
I was going to say that next. There you go. See? Yeah.
I wonder if this guy had any idea that this is going to happen. Like if he set up some kind of failsafe that he sends the files to a friend and says, hey, if I get arrested or you don't hear from me for a couple days, like release these files to the public or upload them to WikiLeaks or something.
I just want to know what evidence did he have that he could upload?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like my car has a built-in dash cam, and it was a witness. My car was a witness to an accident, and the insurance companies, both sides, obviously like messaged like, hey, we need that video, like upload the video. And they sent me a link to upload it. It was a secure upload. I think it was like Dropbox or one of those storage. So I'm like, it happens all the time. People send you a link to upload it.
Yeah.
So it happened this person wasn't trained well, sent the download link instead of the upload link. But I think it's also like anytime I do that, like when the kids have a field trip and I send a link out to the parents like, hey, upload your photos here and everyone can enjoy them. I always double check. I open an incognito window. I open the link. I'm like, yes, I have upload only access. Like it's one of those double check everything.
No
Hey.
good deed goes unpunished, right?
Hey, for that accident that you witnessed, did you tell him I want money?
Yeah, it's like I'll share the video.
Yeah.
What do I get?
Yeah. I'm only going to
They
share.
didn't subpoena you?
I'm only going to share it to the side that actually will pay out, right? Because they're the one that want to prove innocence here.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Did you get subpoenaed, Chris?
No, they asked nicely. I mean, I'm sure if I refused, they might have tried to subpoena me, but they asked nicely. I'm like, all right, why wouldn't I share it? It's one of those
It's
things like
interesting.
if it happened to me, I would want some good Samaritan on the side of the road to turn over their video footage. The golden rule.
I mean, this almost goes into the discussion around the privacy issues with the Ring cameras, right? And what's been going on with that, where they can come in and subpoena, right, and grab the video that they want.
Yeah.
But the fact that you don't even opt in, right? It's a default opt-in on sharing your information with their AI to be able to find stuff, right? So they started with the whole lost puppy thing,
Yep.
right? But in reality, they're using it to do facial recognition, right? And it's crazy. It's like you don't even realize you're signing up for that.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it last week on the show, and then Ben actually just sent us a link today, this morning. Ben Coral did, and he said that there was, I think according to 404 Media, the Ring CEO did send out an internal email to employees that says, yes, step one is going to be lost puppies, or like first we're going to do lost puppies. So of course that, say, well, if we're doing this first, there's going to be a next. So what would have been next? And it's logical to think facial recognition would be next.
I think didn't it come out that internal employees had access to like the mysterious back end video, right? That you aren't subscribing, but the video's recorded. They proved that internal resources were going and looking at people's like bedroom cameras and all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
really creepy.
Crazy.
That's exactly why I know one of us hosts, I think, has those those cameras facing internet facing cameras, but. Yeah, that's not in this household.
Yeah, not in this house, for sure. That's why I will not buy a Ring camera.
Yeah.
I have them. They're facing out, though, so not in.
Yeah. Yeah, same with me. Like, I have cloud storage, internet-facing ones, but yeah, they all face out. The internal camera is recorded to a local NAS, and the NAS is supposed to be locked up in a safe, but you can see it right over my shoulder right there.
It's That's Chris Louis onlyfans.com, right? So
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe here. Oh God.
Yeah, no, that was the other thing. But it wasn't just Ring. Like Ring is catching a lot of heat for it, but Nest too for the Nancy Guthrie case that they were able to recover cloud storage video without even a subscription.
Yeah.
Is crazy to me.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Well, this guy's gonna get his day in court. It'll be interesting to see what they charge him with. Like, I think that's also a legal question. Like, you say computer trespassing. This guy downloaded files he wasn't supposed to, but the police sent him that link. Is that sort of like
you gave me the access?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like.
I mean, you were technically authorizing me, right?
The physical world. Equivalent of it. It's like if I leave my front door open and I put gold bars like right inside of the front of the house, like you technically still can't come into my house without permission, and you're not allowed to steal the gold bars. But I could have done a lot more things to stop you from doing that, like common sense things. So I'm not a lawyer because my parents were happily married, but we should find a legal opinion on that and see if this will stand up. All right, for our second topic, at the time of this recording, we still do not know what happened to Nancy Guthrie. We spoke on last week's episode on how the US FBI were able to recover Google Nest video, even though she did not have a cloud subscription to save said video.
Gotcha.
A new novel approach is being used to locate her body, alive or not. Friend of the show and former Marine David Kennedy wrote a Bluetooth signal sniffer once he learned that Nancy Guthrie has a pacemaker that has Bluetooth connectivity. He wrote the software and built a hardware rig using signal amplifiers and software-defined radios that can detect Bluetooth low energy, or BLE, signals from up to 800 feet away, which is actually very impressive considering I lose AirPod connectivity to my iPhone if I walk out to the front yard and my iPhone is still in the house. So this thing can pick up Bluetooth signals from 800 feet away.
Well, that's because your fence is 800 yards away from your car is.
Yeah, if only that were the case, Glenn. Maybe if I lived on where Scott lives, I'd own like a giant ranch, but definitely not in the Bay Area. This is a very clever approach, and I appreciate the out-of-the-box thinking to help locate this missing person.
Wait a minute. Now we're going to people's pacemakers.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like, I think Dave Kennedy does, like, IoT type security as well, and I can't remember if it was his company. He runs Trusted Sec, if it was his company or another company that they pen tested. They pen test, like, these medical devices, and I remember going to DEF CON talks where they said, yeah, this pacemaker has a gigantic vulnerability. I can send DAuth packets to the pacemaker and then make the battery run out in a day when it's supposed to last, a year, and just by spamming you with DOF packs or something like that.
Reminds me a little bit of that show Person of Interest, right? Where they could basically access anybody's Bluetooth device if you were like anywhere in line of sight.
Yeah. I wonder if those things are real. Like, Mr. Robot gets a lot of credit for having realistic hacking tools, techniques. I wonder if the other shows are accurate or not.
Probably not.
Takes me back to the days of do you remember the movie The Net with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was like the guy's driving down the street with his laptop, and he was like instantaneously gaining access to stuff as he drives by. And it was like, we can barely do that today with 5G.
With 5G
right? It's like
Starlink or something. Yeah.
This
was
like
1995.
a little bit of ahead of their time.
Yeah.
It's almost like Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
It's like future ideas of what could possibly be, right?
Yeah.
Well, the other one was Swordfish, right? When he's trying to hack into the firewall, and these cubes are rotating.
A lot of wattage in the cottage, baby.
Yeah.
Remember that? He's like, I got 2 DS3s pumping into this mainframe.
They use the infrared and like, this room is extremely hot compared to the rest. Like, oh, that's the server room.
Yeah.
My favorite is when he pops a terminal shell on a GUI and he's like literally trying to hack the cipher, like the login cipher.
Uh-huh.
It is like, okay, you don't even know what tools are installed in this system. Like, first off, how did you get a terminal shell on it? And then how do you know that those tools are there? He's like, I got it. Right, okay.
Well, maybe it was back in the day, remember Backtrack, which became Kali Linux? Maybe it was a Kali Linux box, and he just happens to know it has all the hacking tools.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's almost like Will Smith in Independence Day, where they're like uploading a virus, and it's like,
he's hacking the alien OS.
What language?
Yeah.
How do you know what OS it's running and what language it's speaking?
That's it.
Yeah. No, we call it science fiction for a reason.
Yeah. It's running Ubuntu, Scott.
Yeah.
Don't ruin a good plot.
Yeah.
I'm that guy in the theater, right? My wife always looks, she'll give me the evil side eye, right? Like, don't say
don't
it.
ruin
She's
it.
like, I know it's bad.
Yeah.
Just don't say it. I don't want the plot ruined.
Yeah, my kids will walk out of the movie theater and they'll all look at me. I'm like, no, you cannot do that in real life. That's not how it works. Like, just take it for what it was. Entertainment.
Exactly. My wife's the same way. It's like, I won't say it, but if she asks, like, is that possible? Can that really happen? I'm like, well, let me tell you. Let me get a whiteboard real quick.
Never mind.
Teach you a lesson.
Never mind. Just eat your popcorn.
My son knows better than to ask questions like that.
Like, you see, he was running a Mac, but then a Windows command prompt jumps up.
So what do you think?
Or you're on Windows and you got a Linux prompt, right? Like get a bash shell or something.
What's the Kalshi bet on finding the signal for Bluetooth here? Is it out there?
Oh shoot!
I mean, again,
you can bet on anything.
Yeah,
it's very novel. I will give them that. Like trying to locate a person based on a Bluetooth signal on their pacemaker. I think it's cool. Like out of the box thinking. I mean, it's one of those dystopian things. Like, well, unfortunately, that's what it's come to. But it's also like we couldn't have done this like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but what's the reality? If that thing is, unfortunately, like I said, knock on wood, if she's deceased, will that thing run continuously, or will it just go, listen, I don't feel a heartbeat, so I'm just going to stop working?
Yeah.
I think it just keeps going until the battery dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
But man, what a time to be alive. You have Bluetooth connected medical devices. And I think that's for like connecting to a base station or connecting to your phone and giving real-time data and feedback to your physician or some kind of specialist or some kind of app to monitor it. But like, again, like 20 years ago, your pacemaker, you just have to go into the doctor and get it checked out. But now everything is going to be connected. And, it's one of those things. Hopefully this tool is used for good and not for like tracking people. And I guess to that point too, like should these pacemakers, like my phone, my iPhone has MAC address spoofing specifically to block things like Bluetooth tracking. So is that something that we should be looking at for medical devices too, because you can't take out your pacemaker. I can leave my phone at home. I can't leave my pacemaker at home, and someone could track me if they get the MAC address of the device. Yeah, I think there were some retailers, either retailers or mall people, where they did that. They would lock on the Bluetooth or the MAC address of your Wi-Fi signal and then try to track you in the mall and see where you go, what stores you go into, and then for physical stores, what aisles that you browse, and they can target you better with ads. Like if I go into the baby section, then they know, well, obviously I have a baby, so then they're going to target me with like diaper ads and things like that.
It's you think next level is I got a Ridge wallet that protects my NFC chips on my credit cards, right? Now I'm going to need like Faraday clothes, right?
Yeah.
You're going to buy like dry fit webbed Faraday to protect biological devices, right, from being able to emanate signals.
They exist today. It's called chainmail. So
just walk around Target in your chainmail.
Oh, that's awesome.
Psycho.
We're going back. Hey, fashion always comes back.
That's
right.
Like, God, the medieval times people, they were onto something back in the day. So
They're way ahead of their time.
yeah.
We're trying to block something inside out. That was trying to block something outside in.
Yeah. Well, in all seriousness, I really hope they find something. I mean, close us out and use this type of technology for
closure.
Good. Yeah. Do it for good.
It's just really weird. The fact that there's been no real communication from a ransom perspective makes it really odd, right?
Yeah.
I saw the headline. They said the police cleared like practically every family member. They've cleared it. So it's just at this point, they're guessing it's some random person. And
wasn't it the brother-in-law, like the daughter's husband or whatever, where they initially made comments like he somehow was involved because he dropped her off?
Yeah.
It's like, can you imagine, like you're totally innocent and the media just throws you under the bus?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you get your reputation back after that? Regardless that they quote unquote cleared him, everyone still has that suspicion.
Yeah. It's like that. If you remember that poor security guard, it was in the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, and the bomb went off there at some concert, and it was some security guard. He was like trying to like evacuate people. He was warning people, like, "Hey, there's something suspicious here. Get out of the area." And then the media it's like, "Oh, this is the guy," and like he never recovered from that. And I think Clint Eastwood made a movie about that recently too.
There was a movie.
Poor guy.
It was great.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I heard about it. I'll add that to my watch list. Like you said, hopefully they find her safely. I think the family's not holding out a ton of hope, but at least give the family some kind of closure and find out what happened here. For our third topic, a Spanish court has ordered two major VPN providers, NordVPN and ProtonVPN, to block access to 16 websites accused of pirating La Liga football matches, or for us Americans, soccer matches. The ruling issued by a commercial court classifies VPNs as, quote, technological intermediaries under the EU's Digital Services Act. The court argued that VPNs are highly effective at bypassing geo restrictions, masking locations, and letting users reach illegal streaming sites. But here's the twist that's got everybody talking. Both NordVPN and ProtonVPN say they were not even notified about the case. So they somehow tried this case in absentia and then just came to these VPN providers and said, here's your cease and desist letter.
It's like a default judgment, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, sure, we served you papers. Here's your judgment.
Yeah. So Proton, of course, is contesting it, saying without their due process, this court order is procedurally invalid. And NordVPN even said, like, they heard about this in the news. They haven't even received anything from the court, so they had no chance to defend themselves and describe the approach as unacceptable, which I would agree. They argue that blocking the VPN at the VPN level is ineffective because it doesn't hit the root of the problem, like pirating hosts and other free VPN apps that would just become a workaround for the pirates, while paid and reputable services like Nord and Proton are not allowed to do that. They also argue that, well, if you don't want to pay to watch a soccer match, what makes you think they're going to pay for a VPN in order to watch that? So they're just going to go to these free VPN providers, and arguably, which is much worse for their own security.
It's funny because I think the funnier story here is about they weren't served, right? And there was a default judgment. There's actually been a big thing going on in Texas where people are getting sued, and the deputies, right, that are supposed to serve the papers have been making false affidavits saying that they did serve an individual.
Yeah.
And then people are finding out in the mail they get a default judgment. And that's been all over the news here recently.
Huh. So how... I guess it's incumbent on the person that was allegedly served to prove that they weren't served. I guess that.
Yes. Yeah, to a degree, right? So the people that were sued had to get affidavits from individuals proving that they were somewhere else when they were claimed to have been served.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because, I guess the deputy could say, well, I served this person at this time at this restaurant, and then you can say, well, I was at work. Like, here's 5 of my coworkers that said I wasn't there.
But the negative here on an individual level is when you get a default judgment, it immediately hits your credit.
Yeah.
Right. So there's actually a credit hit to your score. Right. And so that's like a huge negative. It's like having a lien put on you.
Yeah. And then it's incumbent on you to, first of all, fix it. And then you have to notify the credit bureaus yourself, I'm sure, to get that removed. And I'm sure that takes months. What's the? I guess what's the? Why are they doing that? Is it like as a service type thing, or is there some kind of other nefarious tie-in here?
On the people suing in absentia?
Yeah.
I don't know that the suing is the culprit. It's the officers of the court.
The process servers.
Just being lazy. Yeah, the processors, they're just being lazy. And so the people get caught in this situation where the court believes they've been served, but they haven't, and then they get a default judgment, and then trying to get yourself out of that.
Yeah.
So the people are literally countersuing the processors themselves as individuals.
Good.
That they violated their rights.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge headache that they have to go through.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, you look at what NordVPN or, Proton VPN, what they're doing in response, right, is they're basically alleging, right, that they didn't get their due process. So they basically have to sue the state back, right, that their rights were violated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and again, in the grand scheme of things, like, nothing's going to change, right? I'm going to use free VPN on this. I'm going to download this shady Android app called Free VPN, and I'm just going to use that instead of paying for Proton or for Nord. It doesn't fix the problem. It just makes people find more clever workarounds.
Just moves it elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. I know there was another court somewhere in Europe, against Europe for some reason. They got Cloudflare. I think it was actually Sony. I think Sony sued, and they got Cloudflare to block certain URL, certain host names with their 1.1.1.1 DNS service and 9.9.9.9, which is owned by IBM. I think they got them to stop resolving these host names with their DNS service because they're also serving pirated content. Again, it's like, sure, okay, Cloudflare and IBM can't serve it, but I'm going to go to 8.8.8.8. I'm going to go to Google. Exactly. I'm going to go to OpenDNS. I'm going to go to Comcast, my ISP. Like, anyone else can do it, but they just go
How
after
about
these.
build my own root resolver, right? I'll do my own recursion, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Or, the big brain move, just go to the IP address directly. Don't use DNS. There's it's worse than whack-a-mole. It's like you whack the area, the thing, the molehill right next to the mole. You're not even whacking the mole, and then 5 pop up in its place.
The whole concept of trying to tie geography to IP addresses has always confused the heck out of me. I don't understand why we're stuck when we know that IP addresses are not users, right? And we think about how the cloud's working, right? Everything's ephemeral. Why, in this day and age, why do we not have a standard? So think about it from a content services perspective, right? We deal with this all the time where we run into ads playing in the wrong language for a user based on what they perceive the location to be. And so we'll get customers all the time that complain about it. Why in this day and age can you not assert the language that you want in your browser, and applications respond to that in kind, right? Like use the ISO tag or the Unicode for whatever the language is.
Yeah,
I don't understand
keyword
why we
layout
don't do
or
that at the application.
Even like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems simple enough, but I don't know, with like application sandboxing, maybe that's it. I'm not an expert in this, but I agree that geolocating a user, or at least at a minimum their language, shouldn't be this hard.
Yeah. And we shouldn't tie it to IP addresses. Like, that's got to go.
Yeah. Agreed. Glenn, you're going to have to find another way to get your soccer matches. Not Proton anymore.
Maybe we need some other standardized way, right, to grab local GPS or whatever, right, and insert it as a header.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be ways around it, right? But by default, right,
Spoofing.
we should do something along those lines, right? Yeah.
Why are courts getting involved? It's government. Government's always getting involved in something.
Yeah.
It's like blocking porn, right? Well, define porn, and how do you block porn if you can't define it?
Yeah.
That's the catch-22. It's the same problem.
Yeah.
Same with all the states in the U.S. We have like this patchwork of it's allowed here, it's not allowed here, it's allowed here with ID, it's not allowed here, and they're just leaving the market. You just end up with this weird patchwork.
Probably was it 6 months or so ago when the UK like had that law that came out, and all of a sudden it was like, what's the top downloaded app? And it was like NordVPN.
Proton VPN,
right?
NordVPN. Yeah.
It's like, okay, you just moved the traffic, you didn't stop it at all. Like,
and
the
then,
law thinks somehow they stopped it.
Did you hear in response to that? I think this is actually true. I think someone said it as a joke, but I think it's actually true. They said the next thing they're going to ban in the UK is ban the use of VPNs for minors. Like, how on earth are you going to regulate that?
So self-identify, right?
Yeah.
Are you under 13? No.
Clearly.
We're going to go back to the days of Leisure Suit Larry. Remember Leisure Suit Larry? You had to go and answer questions to prove you were like over a certain age.
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
just asked like old trivia.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, there's something called, someone in our company sent it, and it's called the Millennium CAPTCHA. It would tell you, it would show like a picture of like a VHS tape rewinder, and it says identify this object, and it's like, okay, I know what it is, like, be kind, rewind, I remember that, but someone else younger than me might not know what that is.
You show a cassette tape and a pencil and be like, how do you use this?
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's the good old days of the look at it. I'll link through it. The millennial CAPTCHA. I think it's pretty hilarious, and it's very on point too. Like, if I gave it to my parents, they probably wouldn't be able to solve it. If I gave it to my kids, they probably wouldn't be able to solve it. It's like exactly like the millennial time frame.
Did you see the video of the dad that tried to have he's like, I'll buy you a pizza if you can figure out how to order it. And he gave him a rotary phone. And he's like, here's the phone number. He's like, if you can make the call, I'll buy the pizza. And they're like, the two kids are sitting there trying to figure out how to dial the phone number. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm old enough to remember rotary. That's funny. I think Glenn's old enough to remember having to dial the operator to connect his call.
Hey.
Hello, switchboard. Give me phone number 3.
That's right.
Back when you didn't have to dial prefixes, you just called the operator and gave the extension.
Yeah.
We got a sniper to our left.
Exactly. All right, we did want to leave some time for our last topic because I thought it'd be cool. So for our last topic, and it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about our podcast description. I was playing around with this Google's new tool. They just released it yesterday. It's called Pomeli. I don't know if you guys had a chance to take a look at it, but it's supposed to help your brand build like campaigns for free, like marketing campaigns and things like that. It's actually really cool in advance. Like I threw our website on it, and of course I don't sell anything, but it analyzed our website. It like these are your brand colors, these are your brand fonts, this is your brand message. This you give them a shot of your product, it'll do like fake AI generated photo shoots for you. So pretty cool tool. And I threw in the podcast on this tool, and it showed the description. I remembered it says, we talk about security issues and things like that. And I said, one of the things that we said we would talk about are interview tips. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. Like, I think we did actually do an episode on like practice interview questions. So out of the 242 episodes, I think we've actually only done that once. So I thought it'd be interesting to get your guys' perspective on how you would answer cybersecurity related interview questions. So no scripting. Hopefully you guys didn't look ahead and give on the spot answers only. I thought this was a unique group. So Glenn, you are a manager, so you're usually the one asking these types of questions. Scott, you're very technical. You're an architect, and I guess I'm technically an architect too, but I was more on the SE side. So I thought it would be interesting to get 3 different perspectives on the questions here. So without further ado, question 1. So these are practice interview questions. How do you stay current with the latest cybersecurity technologies, threats, and regulatory issues? And hopefully this is a layup.
For me, I would say I follow a lot of people on LinkedIn, and you'll see a ton of posts with great material. So I'll typically watch videos like other, people weighing in on subjects, right, that have come up, like legal issues, risk-related issues, business-related issues with technology. So I would say the vast majority of my content is at least sourced from there, and then I'll go down the rabbit hole.
It's the problem with LinkedIn these days. People are turning into Facebook, so it's
I'm not a big fan of LinkedIn lately.
It's separate
like,
the
I really don't want to know
chaff.
about I don't want to know about your kid's wedding. I don't care. I want to know. Give me some professional updates that you guys are doing. I don't want to know about what foundation you're helping or whatever. Right. So let's leave it professional.
You don't want to learn about the soccer team I coach, Glenn?
What's that?
You don't want to know about the soccer team I coach?
No, have no. Yeah. Unless that's part of your LinkedIn as far as your professional value, then yeah, go out and go become a kid soccer coach and make that your profile. So
there's a number of CISOs I follow that have some really good content that's thought provoking, right? Like,
yeah.
They'll give a situation they've encountered and what you think you should do, and then what ends up happening and the forces at play.
Yeah.
So like it almost is like tabletop exercise to a degree, and you start understanding the nuance and the complexity involved with some of the decision making. So for me, I find that highly valuable. But yeah, you have to tune out a lot of the noise, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There's a way to curate it like that. That's what we should build. We should build an app that goes to your LinkedIn feed. It separates the wheat from the chaff, and it gives you only the relevant feeds and not any of that nonsense stuff.
Override the feed algorithm.
Yeah. I listen to this thing called the PEBCAK. That's where I get my latest cybersecurity technologies, threats, and regulatory issues. Just kidding.
That was it. That was a layup, Glenn. Good job.
Yeah. Don't you? Doesn't everybody? Doesn't everybody?
Yeah, I think podcasts are really good. Like that would be my answer. Like I listen to podcasts, and that's the good thing. Most podcasts have an episode every week, so that means you stay pretty current that way. Some have multiple episodes per week, so I think podcast is good. But I think Scott's onto something with LinkedIn. If you can get good insights, because there are people that tell like personal stories and anecdotes that are really useful, real world examples. I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff there. And then like reputable websites. So my favorites are like Krebs on Security, The Record, Cyberscoop, 404 Media. Those are like my go-to. Bleeping Computer. That's usually actually where I source a lot of my stories for the podcast. Come from those outlets too. All right. Question number 2. I actually got this question when I was interviewing at Google. Describe a time when you had to explain a complex technical concept to a non-technical audience.
Was that like last week?
You know, when I interviewed? Glenn's trying to trap me here.
That's why you were late to this call.
2013 is actually when I interviewed at Google, so it's been some time.
All right.
Describe a time when you had to explain a complex technical concept to a non-technical audience.
Every freaking day.
Literally.
Every freaking day. There's a lot of people out there who say they're technical, but they're really non-technical. So I haven't explained that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think it's a daily exercise for me, especially in my role. Because
Yeah.
you never know the audience you're going to be in front of. And 9 times out of 10, you don't have the subject matter expert in the room. You have just like their manager.
Yeah.
And they're not as well versed in some of the subtle nuances, right? I think a big one, and this is one we fight almost on a daily basis, is the need for quality of service. And I just take it back to, look, that is a 20-year-old problem when we didn't have these other technologies in play. And companies wouldn't be adopting the internet as a default transport and getting rid of MPLS if we hadn't overcome these challenges. And people think about it and they're like, but I have to have QoS. They're like, maybe bandwidth control, but not necessarily QoS, right? There's a difference, because QoS it doesn't really exist, right? It's just you mark things and then you decide at an interface level how to handle stuff. So taking that back and trying to make it a high level conversation when it's something deeply technical, that's very difficult. And I do it on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's not even just the non-technical audience. It could even be a technical audience that doesn't understand the concepts of what it is you're trying to explain to them. They could be very technical in a sense over some field.
Absolutely.
But they don't get this specific thing that you're talking to them. Let's say identity.
Yep.
Like it's not in their realm of the sphere of influence, right? So
that's a perfect example. I literally had a customer who challenged me on how you get identity on a firewall. And so I walked them through that scenario and I said, look,
install an agent.
How do you believe this works? Right? Like, what do you think they're making a decision on when there's identity involved on a firewall? And he's like, well, they just get, like, you just plug it into Active Directory and you get the identity. And I'm like, but how do you enforce it?
How do you plug it in?
What's the enforcement point? And to walk it back and go, it's tied to an IP address. And then they just looked at me like I just told them their baby was ugly, right?
I plug it in with this cable. Yeah, that's how it works.
USB cable.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah.
I think Scott probably more than the two of us, because I think Scott, a lot of times you walk in with either high level people or you walk in cold, not knowing your audience, and like you said, it's like I'll walk into a room of networking and cybersecurity folks. The cyber don't understand network don't understand cyber. At least that that deep
and they hate each other.
And they hate each other. Yeah, exactly. So it's how you bridge that and breaking it out, knowing I think those are like good soft skills to have, recognizing that network people don't know cyber and hate cyber, but you have to explain it to them in their terms. Like, this is like, just think of it as, a packet flow, or this is your firewall.
Yeah. The key is reading the room and realizing when you're either being too technical or too high level, right? And finding where that right balance is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something you'll only get with experience, unfortunately. Can't be taught. All right, we only got Glenn for another 4 minutes, so I'm going to jump right in. How do you translate technical features of a cybersecurity product into a business benefits for a customer? I'll let Glenn go first on this one, because I know Scott does this every day.
Which is the different? Well,
how do you translate technical features of a cybersecurity product into business benefits for a customer?
Oh, I just chat GPT it, right? So that's the easiest way.
You can't chat GPT if you're in person. You need the Meta glasses and say, "Hey, Meta, help me out with this."
That's right.
You're supposed to use ChatGPT. You got to keep it on the internal LLM.
Yeah, well, you could do notebook LLM, and then you just feed it a whole bunch of information, right? And then you're off and running the races.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
It's how a lot of people get their 3 Ys out of the whole thing. So
feed it into
notebook. Don't even get me started. the amount of AI drivel I've seen on that, it's like, come on, just rub a couple brain cells together on this.
One of the things I learned is it's coming down to forget the technical features. It's all about what's important in what the customer needs, right? You can throw all that stuff away, because I guarantee you we will design something as technicians into something that's going to work, right? Whether it's, Wizard of Oz, look over here while I pull this string over here. But if you can't solve the business requirements or the need inside of there, you're not helping, right? And some of those needs, it can be just as something simple as, listen, every day it takes 10 minutes for my users to get online. That's a problem. I've got 80,000 users that need to get online, and it takes 10 minutes. That's a business problem, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Bring it back to the basics, understand their priorities and their problems.
Yeah.
Then talk about the features that you know will address those problems, and then tie it to the benefit.
Yeah.
And you can quantify it.
Reduce operational overhead.
There's
you
metrics
improve
around
user
it.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many times I've seen teams go in and go, look over here, look at all the things that I can do for you technically, and never understand what the problem was what they went in there to solve for.
That's show up and throw up. Right?
Yeah. It's terrible. It's a terrible method.
They're so eager to get that meeting. They just want to like sell you the kitchen sink and hope something sticks and you get a follow up.
Yeah. I think that's what bothers me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think metrics being measurable and being able to demonstrate that, I think goes a long way, especially when you think about the audience. Like, what problems does it solve? If I'm talking to somebody in cyber, I said, well, you get 40%, 80% of your alerts are false positives. Like, I'll make your job easier. I'm only going to give you high fidelity alerts. Or you go into networking, and they say, my users constantly complain that the VPN sucks. I'm like, okay, well, I've got something awesome for you that you'll never hear another complaint for your user. Easy to use, and it monitors their connection quality, so they can self-serve, and you'll stop getting those help desk calls.
Yeah, it's called an enterprise browser. Darn it! Have you guys heard what that is?
What? I got to install another app on my laptop, Glenn.
Not an agent, just an app. And it's the same app that you use to browse the internet. So guess what? It's a twofer. So
there you go. ABC, always be closing.
That's right. That's right. All right.
I know Glenn's got to jump. Scott and I will wrap this up.
See you,
Glenn.
Cheers.
I was going to say I had an interesting one the other day where I could figure out real quickly that the customer was extremely interested and focused on problems, from a user to browser interaction, right?
Yeah.
And they were worried, so they asked, well, wait a second, they get an email link, they click on it, I want to know that was MS Edge invoked by Outlook, right?
Yeah.
And that's making the call. And so I want to, either isolate that or block that, in a given scenario. And so I actually went back and unwrapped what's the problem with phishing? And the problem with phishing is typically grabbing credentials. So I walked through our methodology, and he looked at me and went, "We have that today?" And I said, yeah. That's been baked in for 2.5 years into the platform. And once he understood the capability, he goes, "Then I don't need to worry about Proofpoint over here." And I go, "Not really."
Yeah.
Right. So it was really interesting to be able to, feel their pain. I mean, and know what the pain and priority is, and show them there's a thing here that you didn't even know you had, and that's providing you all this benefit, right?
Yeah, it's part of the value realization, and I think that's an overarching problem for all of cyber and all of tech is that you're just inundated with tools, and you see all these ads, and you get all these sales pitches, and says, "Well, I clearly need this because this is our problem." And we go in and say, "Well, you already own this, and we can solve it, so you don't need to buy a new thing. Just let us help us help you in this situation." All right, I think we can wrap it up on that. So if you listeners enjoyed this, let us know in the comments or send us a message. We can do more of these types of interview questions or bonus episodes for interview prep. I thought it was good discussion here. I was prompting our LLM for some good cybersecurity interview questions, and I remember getting some of these questions when last time I had an interview for a job. So I think it's helpful for our listeners. We continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week. Dad joke of the week. This week, our guest Scott is up.
All right. What kind of a car does an egg drive?
An egg. Something with a shell.
Volkswagen.
Yolks. Wah, wah, wah. All right, wrap things up. A Dutchman FA'd, and now he is FOing. We hope Dave Kennedy's Bluetooth sniffer can safely locate Nancy Guthrie. Spanish courts are tackling the piracy problem all wrong, and listen to the PEBCAK to get that cybersecurity job. That's all I have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Find us on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to our listeners and subscribers. Rate us 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify, and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast on your favorite podcast listening app. My co-host Glenn Medina and our guest Scott Savage. I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next week, and as always, have a nice day.
See ya.
Have a nice day.